Now on YouTube, it's time for some alternative commentary action with the Commentary Hub.
There's headed by Marina, and it's 2-1 to Arsenal.
Look at that pass! Goal for Manchester City!
Takes this corner, whips it in, it's headed and it's a goal, and it's that man, Gabriel.
Liverpool have equalised. Lovely improvisational touch from Curtis Jones.
Oh, what a goal! Wow, take it out! Welcome along to the TCHub's coverage for this World Cup 2026 on TCHub Live for Group I as France take on Senegal at the MetLife Stadium in New York, New Jersey. I'm your host, Russ Vernon, and I'll be handing over to our commentary team very, very shortly to run us through the game today and give you the team news and the officials for the match tonight. But before we do that, we've got our commentary team with us, Alex Peters and Mike Harniman. We'll come to Mike first. And Mike, looking at this game today, two big nations who were doing fairly well in recent weeks and in recent months as well. So, as we know, with Senegal, they beat England in the City Ground in one of Thomas Tuchel's first games in charge of the Three Lions, and the tough side to crack on the Mike.
Absolutely, Russ. Yeah, they are. They're a really good nation. Obviously, they're a real different nation to the nation that defeated France back in 2002, when obviously they was everyone's underdog really then. And obviously they defeated the French 1-0 on that occasion. But these days, they're a real different animal now. When you look at some of the players that they've got on show as well, some of them are playing the big divisions, right across Europe as well. So. Yes, it's some real talent on show for the Senegalese as well as the French in this game.
Yes, absolutely, Mike. Absolutely. And Mike, when you've just seen the team before we went on air, you've seen the lineups. Where do you think this game will be won and lost today? Do you think it'll be in the midfield battle like normal games are won and lost, or do you think it could be in the striking departments for either side?
That's a great question. I think when you look at the forward line, for the French, they've got some real talent on show there. The French side do. Obviously, everyone knows about Kylian Mbappe up front leading the line, but even even behind that, I should say, with Michael Olise, Dembele, and Doué as well. There's a lot of talent there, and obviously when you look at the Senegalese team, there's obviously Sarr and Jackson and Mane as well. So, a really interesting battle up front. Obviously, Koulibaly's going to have a great game to keep up the likes of Mbappe, but he's shown time and time again that he can.
He has indeed, Mike. He has indeed. So with the teams just about to emerge from the tunnel, if they're just coming out of the tunnel right now, it's time for me to hand over to Matchday commentary team, Mike Harniman. But first, Alex Peters.
Thanks, Russ. Good evening and welcome. Yes, my name is Alex Peters. I will be your commentator for today's game on the Commentators Hub alongside Mike Harniman. The game is being played at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, the same stadium where the final will be played. And the air tonight, it's thick with history. As mentioned before, the last time France played Senegal at a World Cup, the defending champions went home without scoring a goal. That was 2002. That was in Seoul. And that was Papa Bouba Diop, and a celebration that shook the continent. So 24 years on, these two nations meet again on the grandest stage of all. France arrive as second favourites to win the tournament, whereas Senegal, off the back of the AFCON final controversy, arrive knowing that they've done it before against France. It's a pleasure to be commentating on this game, and alongside me is fellow TCHub commentator Mike Harniman. A warm welcome to the show. And can you tell us a little bit of how you think this game might go, Mike?
Yeah, evening now. Yeah, so when you look at these lineups, obviously, as I mentioned before, there's a lot of really good talent on show. And obviously, you mentioned there regarding the AFCON as well. We've got to touch on that AFCON final against Morocco. That was just a crazy final. When you see that Senegal decided to walk off after Morocco were awarded a late penalty. I think it was about 24 minutes into injury time at the end of the game there. and then Morocco went on to miss the penalty. Senegal went on to win that as well. But it's all up in the air really still, even regarding that tournament and how it's all going to pan out. Because at the moment it's been awarded to Morocco, but Senegal are still, I think they are actually wanting to appeal it as well. So there's still no final decision as of yet on that. But back to this game, when you look at some of the players that are on show, you've got William Saliba there, being shown on my just in front of me there as well. The Premier League winner with Arsenal, obviously got to the Champions League final and was beaten as well by PSG on penalties. But there's a lot of real talent on show for both of these nations. But when I was, if I was to kind of push a score prediction,
feel like we may have just lost Mike there for a second, but while we sort that out, we can go through the lineups.
Is that working?
We're still here. Yeah, we can hear you, Mike. We can hear you.
No, I was just saying, I think France will nick it 2-1. I don't know if you heard that at the end or not. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, we got that now. 2-1. I could see similar scoreline, to be honest, mate. I definitely see both teams scoring today, and you're right, I think we're in for a great game. So let me run through the lineups quickly while we have some time waiting for kickoff. We'll start with France, of course. We have Mike Magnon, who's a veteran in this French team. In the back line, we have Theo Hernandez playing out in Al Hilal at the moment, alongside the centre-back pairing of Dayot Upamecano and William Saliba, as Mike mentioned. Premier League winner with Arsenal this season. Sorry for the red side of North London there. We also have Jules Koundé in the lineup. In centre midfield, we have Adrien Rabiot and Arlen Tchouameni. But France's attack is where the fear comes. You have Michael Elise, Ousmane Dembele, Desiree Doué, spearheaded by the captain, Kylian Mbappe. It's a lineup that could strike fear into any defence, and we'll look at the Senegalese defence that will have to take on this France attack. So in goal is Edouard Mendy, who's obviously been a stalwart in that Senegalese back line. In front of him, he has the centre-back pairing of Kalidou Koulibaly and Mamadou Niakate. Alongside him on the full-back positions are Diaté and El Hadj Magic Diouf, plays for West Ham. In the midfield, we have Kamara, Idrissa Gueye, who is an absolute veteran of this Senegalese team. He is their most capped player, alongside Papa Gueye, where there is no relation between the two players. The front three for Senegal is Ismail Assar, Conference League winner with Crystal Palace, of course. Sadio Mane, the greatest Senegalese player of all time, 56 goals for his nation. He is revered in Senegal as a legend. And Nicholas Jackson, the Chelsea player who's been playing out in Bayern Munich this season, will be leading the line for Senegal. So looking at that Senegalese team, where do you think you might find some issues for France today, Mike?
Yeah, so as I said before, Nicholas Jackson is obviously a really top striker for Senegal. As you mentioned, with Sadio Mane as well, a real veteran for the Senegalese side there. And if you look at even a little bit further behind that as well, with the two in the midfield as well, the two non-related guys with Idrissa and Pape as well, and of course Ismail Assar is another one to mention as well.
Definitely. Right, we'll go on to the match officials as well. Kickoff is fast approaching. So today our referee is, let me get this up, Alariza Falgani from Australia. His assistants will be George Lacrindis and James Lindsay. The fourth official being Sandro Scherer. First, we have our Stephanie de Almeida. On the VAR, we have Abdullah Al-Shareh, Armando Villarreal, and Tatiana Guzman. And kickoff is fast approaching here for what is set to be one of the games of the group stages. As we mentioned before, these two sides had that classic back in 2002 where Senegal came away with the victory thanks to the late Bouba Diop goal. And I'm really excited for this one, Mike. I think we're in for a good game.
Yeah, I think we're in for an absolute treat as well. When you look at that game back in 2002, and you see some of the French players that were on show, there was some real talent there that were really shocked, really, and the whole world was shocked in that game. I know Just having a look here regarding some of the players that were playing. I know Thierry on replays. I don't think who else was playing for France that day, but there was some real talent on show nonetheless. Just trying to see.
Definitely.
Here we go. Let me just have a look here. Some of the players that were actually playing in that game.
You had Zinedine Zidane, who missed that
like
fixture.
Marcel, Zidane, Djorkaeff, Petit, Vieira, Trezeguet, Thuram, Leboeuf, Desailly, Lizarazu, Fabien Barthez in goal as well. Now that's a really strong French side, isn't it? And a side that were very formidable and actually won a couple of World Cups and Euros as well.
Yeah, going into that 2002 World Cup, they were the world and European champions at the time. And to go home with 0 goals from the group stages, it's got to be one of the worst showings from return champions. But their 2026 campaign is just about to get underway. We have Pepe Fior, the Senegalese manager, who was famously part of that 2002 squad. He didn't get on the pitch, but he'll be hoping to make history against one of the tournament's favourites today. So we have the players who are taking the field. Kylian Mbappe is on the screen. He's played in 2 World Cups, and both World Cups he has made the final, with the most recent one scoring a hat-trick. He loves this tournament, and he'll be hoping to make a mark in his 3rd edition here. We also have Didier Deschamps. I just want to touch on him, Mike. It looks like this may be his last World Cup. And for somebody like himself, who won the World Cup in 1998 as a player and then again as a manager in 2018, it's been a formidable career. And we're underway.
Yeah, massive
here,
career.
We're underway.
Go on, yeah.
Apologies, Mike, apologies. But yeah, massive career. It's a Senegalese throw in. France have kicked the ball out of play. So we have the ball in the defensive third here at the MetLife Stadium. It's sunny conditions. The sun is shining down on the players here today, Mike.
No, I was just going to say it's a really formidable career, not just as a player, but as a manager for Didier Deschamps as well, for club and for country. So, hopefully when he does give it up here with France, he'll find himself another job, probably on the international stage again somewhere else, or maybe he'll go back to club football again. Yeah,
it would be great to see him in club football. He's been with France, obviously, for I think coming up 10 years now. I believe he was at Euro 2016 with France. And it'll be interesting to see Zinedine Zidane come back into management. Obviously, there's rumours at the moment, but it very much looks like the case. He will be the manager. We're just looking at the game at the moment. Senegal making their way into the French attacking third here with the ball coming into the box now. It could be an early chance, and the ball has been turned behind by Theo Hernandez, and we have an early Senegalese corner here. So good bit of possession here, getting their way up the pitch and just threatening France, and they've got an early corner, Mike.
Yeah, this is what they want to do. They want to start brightly, and they want to get the first goal if they can as well, and then see what France are about after that, because the French are certainly one of, if not the favourites to win the tournament. And obviously we've seen a few shocks with some of those teams that are people's favourites or potential favourites already, with the likes of Spain and Brazil dropping points.
We certainly have. I had the pleasure of commentating on that Spain game with Russ yesterday. Incredible performance, especially by the keeper. I don't know if you've seen, Mike, but he's up to 6 million Instagram followers at the moment. So
I did see that.
That's the beauty of the World Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, he jumped, I think he was about 50,000 to about 6 million in the space of, I don't know, a couple of hours. So, yeah, that's phenomenal on his part. If that's what it takes to get Instagram followers, then maybe we should all do it.
That we should, Mike. It's well deserved. Keeping a clean sheet against the tournament favourites. We just have free kick here. Senegal looks like, Mike Magnon, sorry. It looks like he's just been trotted on there, possibly by Nicholas Jackson. And just have a break in play, waiting for it to restart. And the ball.
Yeah, there wasn't a limit in it really, in all fairness.
There wasn't. No, just a bit of petulance there to start the game, and French have the ball back in possession now. They're just playing it along the back line with Arlen Tchouameni of Real Madrid. Another trophyless season for Madrid, bringing in lots of recruits, including his French centre-back pairing of Ibrahim Konaté. Lots of signings at Real Madrid going into the new season. Whether or not they constitute trophies, we obviously have to wait and see. But here we are with France still on the ball now.
Yeah, there's a few interesting signings, isn't there, as well? Obviously, Konaté being one of them, but one was commentated on yesterday, and Marc Cucurella, another signing for Real Madrid as well. So, yeah, they're trying to reinforce now, and let's see whether that brings them trophies or not.
Definitely. Here's Kylian Mbappe now. First opportunity to get the Senegalese defence, but they clear up Koulibaly on the ball now. And here come France again, but a free kick has been given to Senegal. But yeah, the Cucurella story, I read that apparently it was something he kept secret from his Spanish teammates. And obviously with no Madridsters in the Spain side, technically he is the first Madridster in the Spanish side at the 2026 World Cup. But lots of reinforcements, especially with the new Jose Mourinho era coming in. They look like they've focused on the defence, and it'll be interesting to see how they do. But Kylian Mbappe just not being able to get the ball under his feet yet. Speaking of Madrid, another great season for him, Mike. 50-plus goals.
Yeah, Mbappe's a phenomenal player. And obviously, we've seen that he can do it for club and for country. And he's still relatively young, really, as well. So still got plenty of years in him, and he'll only kick on from here and go on to be an even better player.
I agree with you, Mike. A player who burst onto the scene all those years ago playing for Monaco and then lit up the 2018 World Cup in Russia, and then of course a hat-trick in the final against Argentina in 2022, but alas that was not enough to win him his second World Cup. But that will be his mission here in the USA. We'll be looking to add another trophy, and like you say, Mike, in the context of it, in the grand scheme of things, he is still so young and still got lots of years in his career to win plenty of trophies, especially at Real Madrid.
Yeah, most definitely. And when you look at the players that he's got behind him as well, it's Michael Olise, Desiré Doué, Dembele. This front four will still be the French front four for a number of years yet.
Oh, definitely. And here they are now trying to force an opening, but collected there by Edouard Mendy. Also playing out in the Saudi Pro League. We have a few players here who are playing in Saudi Pro League. Teo Hernandez, also of Al Hilal. Enjoyed some good seasons of Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the most notable players. He'll be kicking off his World Cup campaign tomorrow. But France in possession now. Here's Tchouaméni, looking to get down this left side and attack Senegal, but ball has been collected there by Idrissa Gueye, who's an absolute veteran of this Senegalese team. I was reading, Mike, 130 caps for this side, and he'll be looking to add some World Cup glory to not only Senegal, but Africa as a whole.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that might even be the record in terms of appearances for Senegal as well. I'll have to double check shortly, but they're certainly up there in the top few anyway.
Definitely. And you also have Sadio Mane, the record goal scorer, who's revered as such a hero back in Senegal. The people love him. I was reading an article this morning saying he can go anywhere he wants, do anything he wants. They consider him a zero to hero story, and he had so many great years at Liverpool in the Premier League. And here's Senegal now on the attack, making the way into the box. Nicholas Jackson just comes outside of the area. It's well defended there. And France looking to get the ball out now. No free kick has been given. Senegal still in possession here. Looked like they may be giving their foul on Desiré Doué, but they're just passing it around Senegal. Keeping the ball here, not trying to rush it, anything. Diatta, and it's more aggressive from France. And another foul.
Yeah,
there.
it was
The
good play
referee
there
is letting
from
a lot go.
Senegal. He is, yeah. That was good play from Senegal, though. And they started this game really brightly in the opening 6 or 7 minutes as well. They're causing the French a few problems. They haven't really had any shots on target as of yet, but in terms of possession, they're the team that keeping the ball well. And that chance there for Nicholas Jackson, maybe is expected to at least get a shot away, but good defender from the French.
That it was, Mike. And here they come again now, Senegal, looking to force an opening. Sadio Mane tries to get a shot off, blocked. Offside flag is up, and I think for any European side that comes up against these African countries, you're going to be dealing with that physicality, and it's only going to be amplified by playing in this heat. And you can see it just offside there by Senegal. So I think it's going to be a tough fixture. England obviously played Ghana in their second game in Group L. And for the longer that these games go on in these conditions and this heat, I think the teams are going to suffer. So France on the ball now, down to William Saliba. But I have to agree with you, Mike. For the most part, I think the game has been played in France's defensive half. Like you say, Senegal not really created too many opportunities yet, but Nicholas Jackson doing what he does best and leading from the line and putting that pressure on the centre-backs.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think that France maybe just want to keep the ball a little bit and kind of keep possession for a little while now and then try and work their way up the field, because at the moment Senegal haven't been troubled at all either. So yeah, France, I think just a bit of keep ball from the French wouldn't go amiss right now.
No, I agree, Mike. It's symptomatic of the way that Spain started the game against Cape Verde, but I think the differences between these two sides is France have that creativity and imagination in attack. I mean, you've got the Ballon d'Or winner in Ousmane Dembele. You have his PSG compatriot in Desiree Doué the other side of him. Michael Olise, 20 assists in the Bundesliga this season. And we don't need to say anything more about Kylian Mbappe. So they're definitely not short of firepower.
No, not at all. When you look at the games leading up to this tournament as well, you just got to look at that Northern Ireland game where Michael Olise was on target with a hat-trick. So there's plenty there. If Mbappe's not going to score, or Doué is not going to score, or Dembele, and you've got Michael Olise chipping in with a hat-trick as well. So any of them can do more than an adequate job.
That they can. A hat-trick from Michael Olise, a brilliant second goal against Northern Ireland. And they needed that after losing their first warm-up game to Ivory Coast, which interestingly enough, Desiree Doué's brother had scored against him.
Yeah, that was quite an interesting stat as well, or quite an interesting bit of information there with Desiree Doué's brother playing and scoring for the Ivory Coast. Yeah.
Definitely. And the ball's out of play here for a Senegalese throw. So we're 10 minutes in. Thank you for joining us here on the Commentary Hub. My name's Alex Peters here with Mike Harniman.
Yeah, you got it right that time. Yeah.
Making sure, Mike, making sure. We've got to get this correct. We've got to get it correct.
Yeah, no, you're all good. You got it right that time. It's one of those names where it's actually, I think it's Irish heritage back in from that originally, but it's
oh, there we are.
I'm full on English, but it's an Irish heritage name. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a few friends similar names like that. I have about 4 screens on my laptop here, and I have StreamYard very minimized, so I have to expand it to make sure that I'm getting my pronunciations correct.
No, you're all good. You're all good, Alan Peters.
Hey, close enough, mate. I'll take what I can get.
No, I was only saying that because you got mine wrong.
Yeah, tit for tat.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's France now. I'll go Olise. Ousmane Dembele, who's starting in this more attacking midfield role than what typically used to with PSG. He's been moved into that central striker role where he found a lot of joy last season. 30-plus goals, ended with the Ballon d'Or, back-to-back Champions League winner. And for a player who had a 100 mil plus price tag early doors, here's Kylian Mbappe, unable to control it, cleared by Senegal for a throw-in. And France to attack, and it's been a couple bad touches for Mbappe so far. He's just looking to get into the game, Mike.
Yeah, he's not really not got into his flow as of yet, has he? And it kind of can be said about the French side as a whole. I think there's been a few misplaced passes, and Mbappe, one of the ones that has really not been himself as of yet. But there's been a few, as I say, from the midfield as well that they haven't really got going as of yet.
No, they have not. I tend to agree, Mike. Unlike the French, they have suffered a couple bad group stages before, as we mentioned 2002, where they lost to Senegal in that opening game. In 2010 as well. But they won't be hoping for a capitulation, and instead they'll be hoping for a celebration come the end of the tournament. All out of play here.
Yeah, and I think they'll certainly be everyone's favourites to at least get to the semi-final. I've got them to go on and potentially even win the tournament, but there's a lot of good nations in the tournament. Obviously, you've got Spain, you've got Portugal, you've got Germany, you've got Brazil, you've got Argentina, and hopefully England might do all right as well.
That will be hoping. Of course, the England game, their opening game against Croatia, will be on the commentators hub as well tomorrow, so make sure you tune in. But here we have Mike Maignan with the ball now, and of AC Milan. He kept 15 clean sheets for them this season. Here's Mbappe looking to force an opening, and the ball was just too long, and Edward Mendy collects. It's unlucky there from France, but just going back to Mike Maignan and AC Milan, obviously Ruben Amorim, interestingly enough, has been announced as the new Milan manager. Can we get any quick thoughts on that, Mike?
Yeah, I think he's going to be a really good manager. I think he, didn't really have much of a chance at Manchester United, but I think going to Serie A, I think it's a good appointment for them. I think he'll do quite well, in all fairness.
Yeah, me too. I think it's good that he's managed to get back into football so quickly after what happened at Manchester United. The work he did with Sporting, it can't go unnoticed. And being in a team like Milan, it'll be great to see if he can sort of redeem his career somewhat after what happened. But here is France now in the Senegalese defensive third and just unable to get the ball through once again. And it's been the story of the game so far as we're approaching 15 minutes. France just not been able to fashion an opening quite yet. Ball here on the half.
No, they haven't. And you want maybe the likes of Tchouaméni and Rabiot to kind of get a little bit of a foothold of this game now. I think when you look at the midfield, obviously France have got a bit better in midfield in terms of keeping possession and keeping the ball now. But I think you kind of want those two, Tchouaméni and Rabiot, to start to create a few more chances now.
I tend to agree. When I was looking at the France squad when they announced it for the World Cup, I did notice the complete lack of midfielders. I think there was only 5 recognised midfielders that they took in the squad. And you think of all the brilliant French midfielders of the past. I mean, you look at the 2018 squad when they won the World Cup. You had players such as Paul Pogba, N'Golo Kante. And I mean, if you go even further back, you will then get players such as Patrick Vieira and Zinedine Zidane. So I think the French midfield spot has been something which has been so important in the history of the World Cup. And the fact that they lining up with Rabiot and Tchouaméni, who are excellent players in their own right, I just think that's not the legendary French centre mids that we have seen in the past, Mike.
No, absolutely right. And it's actually quite ironic as well when you look at their manager, Didier Deschamps, who played centre mid for his career himself in the game. Like you'd expect him to know a lot more midfielder from the French divisions and maybe even further afield, because that was his own position, wasn't it? So obviously, to only have the 5, they're 5 great midfielders, but you maybe expect a few more.
I tend to agree. Just looking at the substitutes bench and the midfielders, they do have an option. Of course, N'Golo Kante, who's playing out in Saudi at the moment. Ryan Cherki, who enjoyed an excellent season for Manchester City. And then, of course, Warren Zaïre-Emery of PSG, the 2 times Champions League winners. Plays an important role for PSG, seems to come in for those bigger games, and he is liked by Luis Enrique. And it'll be interesting to see if the youngster gets an opportunity at this World Cup.
Yeah, I think at some stage he probably will. I'm not too sure whether it'll be from the start in many games, but he'll get off the bench in a few games for sure and get some minutes.
I can imagine, Mike. Also in the group here with France and Senegal, we have Iraq and Norway. Erling Haaland, who's similar to Kylian Mbappe, will be looking to get in amongst the goals this tournament. It will be his World Cup debut, which is quite surprising because you look at a team like Norway who could give France the biggest issue in this group outside of Senegal, and it's miraculous that this will be their first World Cup in many years.
Yeah, most definitely, and obviously they've got some real talent on show, as you mentioned there, with Erling Haaland, who has done it for a number of years at Manchester City now. Got Martin Odegaard in there as well, the Arsenal captain. So a lot of talent there, and they will cause the French some issues as well when they do face off against each other.
Definitely. It's not just Erling Haaland, as you mentioned. There's great players throughout that Norwegian side. And France will be worried. But they're worried about Senegal at the moment. They're just playing the ball around on the halfway line. Fashioning an opening, coming down this left side again. Desiree Doué looking to get in. And just on the outside of the area now, Kylian Mbappe looking to shield the ball. Pass back out here to Tchouaméni. And France are just hovering around the Senegalese penalty area. And a shot comes in from range, but hits Koulibaly, and it's cleared once again. Mike Magnon with possession now. William Saliba on the halfway line. And it's been a cagey opening 20 minutes here in New Jersey. Neither side really having too many good opportunities, but I don't think that's going to stay the same, to be honest, Mike.
No, I have to agree as well. There's too much quality on show for this to end as a stalemate, for sure.
Most definitely. And here's Senegal now with some possession. Just playing it around into the path of Idrissa Gueye. And it comes out wide here to Diatta. It's a great ball forward there. It's found Ismail Assar, who just tries to get the ball in. And unfortunately, it's gone out of play. But did well to get upfield there. There's two balls currently on the pitch.
Yeah, I just noticed that as well. But no, Ismail Assar there. It's a good bit of play from Senegal, just a bit of a poor delivery. I don't think there's really anyone in the box anyway that he was kind of aiming for. But yeah, as I say, hopefully this game will kick itself into life in a minute.
That we can hope. I enjoyed the first 0-0 of the World Cup in 4 years. I said that to people at work today. They did not get the joke I was making. But yeah, the first 0-0 of the 2026 World Cup with Spain and Cape Verde yesterday. I am hoping not for a repeat today. I'm hoping for some goals. But I think with the attacking talent that France have, we've mentioned it already, I would be very surprised if this game was to end 0-0.
No, I'd be more than surprised if it ended 0-0 as well. But then we saw that yesterday with Spain. It all depends on how the Senegalese defend as well, because Cape Verde, nobody had them to have any chance whatsoever. And obviously, Spain with the likes of Gavi and Pedri and even Yamal came on as well. And they also brought on Nico Williams as well, didn't they? And still couldn't even break Cape Verde down. So, yeah, anything's possible.
That it is, Mike. That it is. We have a French corner here. So, the French will be hoping to get the opening goal here. As the ball comes in. It's cleared for another corner. No, it's not. It's a goal kick. And just going back to that Spain game, Mike, found it really interesting that we saw Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams come off the bench. And I think that was a sign of the desperation from Luis de la Fuente as he realised there was just no imagination with that Spain side. For all the saves that Vizinha made, he obviously got man of the match and a bunch of Instagram followers because of the game. But the saves he made, he wasn't really tested, Mike. I don't know how you feel about it.
No, I don't think he really was tested that much either. And I think that, you look at this Spain side, yes, they've got a lot of quality, but they are certainly lacking an out-and-out forward. Obviously back in the day, they had the likes of David Villa and Fernando Torres, but now, in terms of an actual out-and-out number 9, they don't have anyone. So I think the closest they've probably got is Mikel Merino these days.
That's not a good sign. He's obviously done well for Arsenal, but when you're relying on a player who primarily plays in the midfield to be your out-and-out striker, it's not a good showing. And I think the same happened yesterday for Belgium. I thought Belgium were woeful up until Lukaku came on the pitch, and they had about a 10-minute spell with De Bruyne, Doku and Lukaku where they looked really threatening and looked like they could do some damage until they were subbed off. And I think you'll see that quite a lot at this World Cup, the importance of having that outlet, that target man, that player to play it into. These two sides here, of course, Nicholas Jackson and Kylian Mbappe, they'll be hoping to make an impact sooner rather than later.
Yeah, most definitely. And, if you go even onto tomorrow's game as well, you look at Harry Kane, for example. That's where England will certainly look for one of their main outlets as well. The likes of Harry Kane leading the line. And even off the bench, you've got Ollie Watkins, you've got Ivan Toney as well that can come on and have an impact. So England have got a few, whereas the likes of Spain, as I mentioned, have got none. And if Kylian Mbappe is to suffer an injury or anything for France, they've not really got anyone that can play out and out up front either. Not, Dembele probably can, but not at the kind of same level that England have anyway.
They can't. We just have Senegal here. Got the ball to French defensive third, but it's not really come to anything. And I agree, Mike. I think we find there's a lot of teams at this World Cup who have that reliance on sort of your star players. Spain with Yamal, England with Kane, France somewhat with Mbappe, as I think there are other brilliant players who could step up. But when you build a system around a player, if that player then becomes injured, you then run that risk of losing your identity. And whew, Edouard Mendy there playing with fire. Senegal clear the ball now. He did. Very characteristic of Edouard Mendy, unfortunately. But as you said, he got away with it that time.
Maybe that's why Chelsea decided to cash in them.
We were thinking the same thing there. Obviously, the captain, Koulibaly, as well, had a spell. Chelsea, there's a few Senegalese players who have Premier League experience. Idrissa Gueye of Everton, of course. Sadio Mane in Liverpool. Nicholas Jackson, also of Chelsea. There's Ismaila Sarr, Crystal Palace, the Conference League winner this season. Brilliant player. Here's France now. Back into possession of Upamecano. Just crossing the halfway line. It's been a tepid start from Les Blues. But here they are now. Hydration break coming up shortly, but here's Senegal on the attack. Sadio Mane. Oh, gets his shot away. Or Nicholas Jackson, apologies, but it looks like it will be a corner for Senegal, and that could be the best opportunity of the half so far.
Yeah, it definitely was. I think it's actually hit the post as well there. It's came off of the post and then off of Mike Maignan and then behind for a corner. So really good bit of play from Senegal. And yeah, Nicholas Jackson, it does actually strike the post as well. So yeah, just hit the woodwork there.
That's right. Striking the post and then off the heel of Mike Maignan. Senegal have a corner here. Just a chance to run at Upamecano, who, albeit scored a brilliant goal in the semi-final of the Champions League. He's been known to possibly have those mistakes in him, and sometimes those judgments, or error in judgment, sorry. And here we go. It's a corner for Senegal. Fans watching on as the ball comes in here. And the ball goes out for a throw-in, so I believe we will have the first hydration break.
Hydration, yeah.
That's right. So it gives us an opportunity, Mike. What's your assessment of the first 25 minutes that we've watched here?
Yeah, it's been quite an interesting game, really. You see that both sides really just kind of trying to feel each other out. Senegal have been the better side for me in the first 25 minutes or so. Had a few chances. Nicholas Jackson, obviously, with the main one just a minute ago off the post. But they've had a few other moments as well without really getting any shots on goal or troubling Mike Maignan. But as for France, they haven't got going for me yet. You haven't really seen much of Elise or Dembele or Doué or Mbappe in a attacking sense yet. So, yeah, I think Didier Deschamps, they use this, don't they, as well, for a bit of tactical analysis and a bit of trying to get a couple of messages into their players. And I think that's what Didier Deschamps will probably be saying to his forwards as well. You really got to get into this game and make something happen, because right now Senegal look like the side they're going to score.
That they do, Mike. I find the use of the hydration break has been varied depending on whether you be a broadcaster or manager. Obviously, lots of people getting adverts in and trying to milk the cash cow of the World Cup while they can. But you're right, managers have been using this as an opportunity to give some more tactical advice. And I think possibly the most interesting time that this has happened is in the Germany-Curacao game, where Curacao obviously scored around the 20th minute mark and then had another opportunity before the hydration break. And then what you saw Nagelsmann do was keep Kimmich in that defensive midfield position, completely nullifying the Curacao counter-attack, and the game ended 7-1 to Germany.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, you'd expect Germany to go on and win that game quite convincingly anyway. I think me and Paul said it. I think Paul was covering the game, and I was chatting in the comment section of the live, and I was saying, I think Russ said it as well. We were expecting Germany to win 6 or 7, but when you see Curacao have their moment, and then Germany do that on the hydration break, it kind of, I don't mind these hydration breaks at times, But when it gets to moments like that, you do feel hard done by from sort of Curacao there. You think, it's a bit harsh on them.
I agree, and the momentum just stopped in that game, and then it ran away from them before they knew it. But the Blue Wave will be back, of course. Blue Sharks in Cape Verde managed to get a point against Spain, so that will give them hope. We could just take a moment to look at the comments so far. We have Nick Jones, who's here, who's watching with his beer and nuts. So thank you. He also let me know that Norway's last World Cup was 1998. So it's been nearly 30 years since Norway have appeared at a World Cup. And Erling Haaland will be looking to make his mark on the tournament. So just the use of sprinklers
Making me
here.
feel old. Said about 1998 being the last time that Norway at the World Cup. I was 11 years old then.
God, a long time ago. I was -1 years old, so I was still yet to watch my first World Cup. The last time Norway appeared, and looks like the hydration breaks over there, Mike.
Great World Cup, yeah.
Yeah, of course. France winners.
Yep, they were indeed.
They were. And they'll be hoping for a repeat.
That was when England actually played Argentina in that World Cup. I think it was when Michael Owen scored, if I remember correctly, as well.
Okay, and that was the same game as Beckham, right? They both happened in that game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There we are. Like I say, before my time, but I've watched enough highlights reels to gather the idea of what happened. Here we go. So, game looking like it's about to restart.
66 is 60 years ago for England, so that's if anyone was alive to see that, like my dad and things like that, then 60 years is some time for England. I think they're certainly due another World Cup soon.
That I agree. Not only because both from England, of course, but 60 years, long overdue. They've done well in recent tournaments, of course. A couple finals appearances in the Euros, and that's semi-finals or quarter-final defeat to France at the last World Cup. And they'll be looking to avenge them if they get the opportunity in the last stage of the tournament. But here's Senegal now into the path of Nicholas Jackson, looking to get the shot off. And it's back in possession with France now. They're looking to come back down this left side. I think that's their area of focus. It looks like where they're getting most joy at the moment when they're attacking Senegal. But with that being said, it's not a whole lot of joy, to be honest, Mike. They've still not really fashioned many opportunities or a real chance yet.
No, and you can say that because obviously we've not mentioned the likes of Diatta or really even Malik Diouf either down the fullback positions for the Senegalese. Sorry, so the French attack they haven't really had anything to trouble them with yet.
That they have not. It's not been the greatest first half of the World Cup, but fortunately we still have 60 minutes here. We're just past the half-hour mark at the New Jersey Stadium. Thank you again for joining us here on the Commentators Hub. Me, Alex Peters, and of course, Mike Harniman.
Yep, you got it right again that time, Alex, yes.
There we are. See, it's in the locker now, Mike. It's in the locker.
Good stuff, mate, good stuff.
It's Senegal. And France now, Elise. Not heard a lot from him at the moment. We're looking to make an impact sooner rather than later, of course. Is the ball back with Senegal on the halfway line? And just been a very slow half, as me and Mike have already mentioned. So still lots of games coming up in the tournament. Obviously later on we have the other game in this group of Iraq and Norway. And then at 2 a.m, Lionel Messi's Argentina are back on the world stage. They play Algeria at 2 a.m. And if you still have the appetite for it, then Austria and Jordan will also be playing at 5 a.m. So you reckon you'll be staying up for that one, Mike?
Not for the 5 a.m. I've watched a few of the 2 a.m. games. I watched Iran last night. That was good. It was a 2-2 draw with New Zealand. That was a really interesting game, actually, Iran. And I did watch the other one on, was it Sunday morning, when Australia beat Turkey. I watched the first half of that. So I think it was about 5:45 by the time I called it that morning.
Of course, we had Scotland and Haiti at 2 o'clock, of course. I think that's when I tapped out. I had the game on, but I'd be lying if I said I watched much of Australia versus Turkey. I saw Arda Güler miss a shot in the 90th minute, and that's all about. I can tell you from the game. But you're right, Iran and New Zealand. I didn't watch it myself. I watched the highlights this morning, but great point for Iran, especially with everything that's going on outside of the World Cup.
Yeah, most definitely. And there's a few other really good games. I actually commentated the USA game as well against Paraguay at the end of last week. So, I've had 4 goals in the tournament already. So if you're working alongside somebody that's had goals, then hopefully by association, this will help you out as well.
That I'm hoping, Mike. As mentioned, me and Russ endured the 0-0 between Spain and Cape Verde yesterday, but of all the 0-0s to watch, I think it was one of the better ones. But let's hope for some goals today. I hope you bring that luck with you, Mike.
Russ said he'll be up at 5 a.m. That does not surprise me, Russ. You've watched every single game this tournament, haven't you, so far?
He did mention yesterday, he said he was on a quest to watch every kick of the World Cup, and I said I could take my hat off to him because I think I failed that after the first night with South Korea game at 3 a.m.
Yeah. Well, Russ, if you do that and you get through to the 19th of July, we'll give you the rest of. We'll give you until when's the Premier League start? August or what? You can have that month off.
Yeah, I was going to say. You can enjoy that small window, Russ. You can enjoy that small.
Yeah.
There we go. The ball out of play, and it looks like it's going to be a France goal kick. So 10 minutes remaining of this first half plus added time. Didier just champs on camera there. We'll be wondering what changes need to be made, whether that be a tactical tweak or some substitutions. I mentioned earlier on the bench, you of course have players such as Ryan Cherki, who I think could make an impact. In attack, you have Bradley Barcola, Jean-Philippe Mateta, and of course Marcus Thuram. So they're not short of options, France.
No, they're not. And Mateta's when I looked at the forward lines about if Mbappe was to get an injury, I did actually overlook Mateta there, which wasn't a deliberate thing on my part, not at all. So I do rate him. I think he's a really good player. He's done well for Crystal Palace as well over the last few years. And obviously Bradley Barcola, who I think it might even be rumoured to move to Arsenal from what I've been hearing as well.
Yeah, looks like it'll be a busy season for the new Premier League champions. Of course, they've got inquiries about Morgan Rogers of Aston Villa as well. But here come France with the ball with Jules Koundé now, unable to control it. And it's more great defending from Senegal as they look to charge up the pitch. No foul given, but France now, Adrien Rabiot looking to attack that Senegalese back line. And again, a bit of ping ball here. Ball going back and forth now, back in possession with Senegal. Nice, calm composure from Kamara there as he plays it out wide. Diatta. Back into Idrissa Gueye. Koulibaly now. Idrissa Gueye commanding it, as we mentioned before, an absolute stalwart of the Senegalese side. One of the most capped international players at this tournament of Everton. And some sustained possession here from Senegal now as they are making inroads. Diatta, brilliant run. Can he get the pass off? Just slows down again, but they'll be enjoying some of the ball here, Mike.
Yeah, they are. They're looking quite comfortable with it at the moment as well, and quite composed. The French are kind of just standing off, but as I say that, the ball's just kind of put out for a goal kick. So kind of a little bit of a co-commentator's curse.
That it is. So wait for the restart here, but yeah, I believe Senegal, they'll be happy with how the first half has gone. France will be frustrated, as we mentioned, just been unable to create any real opportunities here. But Senegal,
I think the fact that when you look at Senegal as well, if you look at the Senegalese team here, there's a lot of players that play in the French league as well, and I think that does help. If you look at, you've got the number 8, Kamara, he's in the French league, and in this squad, I think there's 5 or 6 that play in the French league, so that's certainly going to help them as well.
That it is, yes. As mentioned, you've got this Senegalese team playing all over the world, and I think that adds to why they have improved in these last 2 decades since they made their tournament debut against France in 2002, which they won. And an interesting stat I found, Mike, is that for all the games that they've played against France in recorded history, France have never beaten Senegal, albeit they've only played twice.
So what was the other one? There's obviously the 1-0 back in 2002. Was the other one was it a friendly or?
Yeah, I could tell you the other one right here. So the other one was 1963 in the African Friendship Games. Obviously, that very notable tournament we all know about. But yeah, Senegal came away from that game also winning 1-0.
Oh, okay, so they've got 2 clean sheets. Okay, nice.
And they'll be hoping for a third today, and they're on good course here as we're approaching the 40-minute mark here, nearly the end of the first half. It's unfortunately been quite uneventful, not been too many moments of notability here, which the Senegal and Pape Fial, he will not mind one bit.
No, they've actually done very, very well of Senegal. They've had the best chances we mentioned as well when Nicholas Jackson hit the post, and they're in for another opportunity here in a minute as well with this free kick that's going to come up.
That they are, so yeah. I agree with the assessment. I think, yeah, Senegal been resolute, they've defended well, done what they need to. Both sides have been somewhat unaspiring in attack, but been a couple opportunities here, so I feel like it's a game where a moment of brilliance may just take it, and that could happen with this free kick.
Well, it wasn't even a free kick in the end. It was the Senegalese man is down. It looked like it should have been a foul to me. I thought the referee was about to give a free kick there, but obviously he hasn't.
I can't help but agree, but now we have France attacking here in reverse. Koundé just trying to get the ball in, and comes to nothing once again. And it's been the story of France's half, unfortunately, where just a couple loose balls, misplaced passes, and they've been unable to really do anything with the ball here, unfortunately.
Yeah, this looks like a bit of a nasty injury potentially for the Senegalese man as well. I just want to see who it is that's down, but he is getting treatment at the time being anyway. So it was a bit of a late one from William Saliba, I think it may have been, and it is the number 18 Ismail Assar that's down getting treatment at the moment.
Yeah, not good for Ismail Assar, the Crystal Palace man. As you say, it looks like it might have been a nasty one, just caught him there. So just a chance for the players to collect their breath as Ismail Assar is being treated here. The score still 0-0 here at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. As mentioned before, my name is Alex Peters, and I am commentating alongside the great Mike Harniman. Got that one locked in the chamber now, so we're approaching the end of the first half. 0-0 at the moment. We're just waiting for play to restart here with Ismail Assar. Fortunately, back to his feet, but moving around a little gingerly.
Yeah, Rush just saying it was Arsenal on Palace there as well. So 2 North London, well, no, not North London, but 2 London rivals, I should say, sorry.
That was so. Season may be over, but the rivalry's still staying strong, even on the international stage. And William Saliba, who was a doubt for this game due to a back injury, and obviously that extended season with Arsenal, playing the Champions League final towards the end of May, start June. And here's France. Elise now. Let's make inroads once again. Aurelien Tchouameni. There's a Doué looking to get the ball into the box. Theo Hernandez now. Nice bit of pressure from France. Looking to fashion an opening, and Kylian Mbappe once again closed down. It's brilliant defending. They've done well to win the free kick there. Oh, the free kick has gone the other way, it seems. It looks like France.
The French way, yeah. And it's a good opportunity for France here as well. It's, you know, coming up to half time, and it's their first opportunity to get a delivery into the box.
But it is a free kick given for handball, but looking at the replay, he seems rather unfortunate. It looks like the ball was rolled onto his hand as opposed to him trying to claim the free kick. But yeah, what an opportunity for France here. One maybe their first real chance of the game if they can get the ball in. They've got some great height there. Players such as William Saliba. It's Elise and Dembele standing over this now. So 43 minutes on the clock. Just wait for that ball to come in. Edward Mendy taking his time. Arranging his two-man wall. And the ball's in here. Dembele cleared by Koulibaly and cleared once again. And the ball's back out to Dembele. And here come France again. Kylian Mbappe on this left
Senegal
side
stood
now.
up very well.
Brilliant.
I was going to say Senegal have stood up to that very well defensively again as well. They're, they're not really giving France any time or space at all on the ball here now.
They're not, and I think that aggression and physicality is what's going to help Senegal get through and potentially win this game. And they're better suited to the conditions here than the French, I believe. And I think we've seen that in this first half because for all their creativity and brilliance, France have been unable to really do anything. They have another corner here now as we come towards the end of this first half on the commentators hub. And a goal before half-time could really change the narrative here, Mike.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think if France get it as well, it'll be interesting to see what Senegal can do if they're behind, because so far they've really controlled this game.
They have, so the ball comes in here now, and an uninspired delivery as it goes straight into the hands of Edward Mendy. So Elise, for the 20 assists in Bundesliga this season, that wasn't too good a chance. And here we have Senegal again now.
No,
so
it was uninspiring, pretty much like this first half so far, from a general point of view. That corner just sums up the first half, really, in all fairness.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Mike. It's been very uninspiring, and the three halves of football I have commentated on so far during this World Cup for the TCHub, I've seen no goals. So I'm still waiting. I'm itching for it at this moment, Mike.
Oh, you'll get your time. Your time will come.
I hope so. I hope so. My next game, I believe, will be Portugal versus Uzbekistan next week. So I'm hoping for a goal fest if this one also remains nil.
You'll have a goal today. You'll have a goal today.
I'll hold you to that, Mike. I'll hold you to that. We have 6 minutes at a time here. So hopefully we'll be able to find a goal somewhere in there. I know Didier Deschamps and France will be hoping for the same as the Senegalese players, of course. There's ball out wide here to Koundé of Barcelona. And ball back in Senegalese possession now. Sadio Mane taking the throw in. Seeing the implementation, of course, of the 5-second rule, which I think we've seen used sparingly so far. There seems to be one rule for some and one rule for another, but that's just common theme.
There was one game,
common practice of referees.
But there was one game, I'm trying to think who it was, where it was actually the 5-second rule was actually put into place in one game, because I'm sure, I can't remember who it was a few days ago now.
You think
the nation
Bosnia
took too long over it, and then the throw-in was reversed back to the other team. Yeah,
I believe that, Bosnia and Sead Kolasinac, because that's the only incident
that's
or
it.
instance
Yeah, it was
I can
Kolasinac,
think of
that's
at the
right.
moment.
Yeah.
I don't think I've
right,
seen it used, albeit I'm not like producer Russ, who's watched every kick of the tournament so far, so I couldn't give a full account. But from the games I've watched, I
Russ
think
has
that's
probably seen it in most games. Yeah.
Yeah, Russ is going to let us know that has actually happened in every single game, and we've missed it all. But here's France now on the attack. Dembele and Hydra of this France attack. When you see all four of them running, it could strike fear into any back line, but it's not done that this half, Mike. It's not done that this half.
No, it hasn't. And, when you look at Niakate and Koulibaly and Diouf and Diarra, they haven't really had a lot to do, in terms of having to keep the French at bay. Mendy's not made a save as of yet. And, I still go back to what I said before. It was Nicholas Jackson's chance, the only real shot from either of the sides in anger, which was the one that hit the post.
I agree with you, Mike. It's the only real opportunity that I can recall from this first half as we approach the end of it. Of course, it's very much a scoreline which Pape Thiaw and Senegal will be more happy with than France, as the big teams are struggling to sort of make an impact. Obviously, you look at Germany as the exception, putting 7 past Curacao. But as you mentioned before, Brazil drawing to Morocco, Spain drawing to Cape Verde, France looking like they're going to draw out this first half. It seems to be a slow start for the big nations. Do you have any idea why that might be, Mike?
It could potentially be the heat for obviously France and Spain. Brazil, you'd expect to be able to play, in this heat and be used to this heat. But for them, it might be more about the players. I think there's a few players there that coming towards the end of their careers now. I thought the back line for Brazil weren't really that great. I think Gabriel made a few mistakes. Thiago Silva as well on the goal. But yeah, Morocco, they played very, very well that day and could potentially be a dark horse. But yeah, maybe in Spain and France's case, it might be a heat issue. With Brazil, I can't really put my finger on why for them at the moment.
No, me either. It seems to be quite disjointed ever since Carlo Ancelotti's come in. They've had some good moments, had some bad moments. They've also had everything surrounding Neymar and whether or not he was going to go to the World Cup. But I think with the season running on as long as it did, I think you find a lot of players are exhausted, of course. And a lot of these big nations, you have players who have won all the way in the Champions League with Bayern, PSG, Arsenal. But here's France looking to possibly change the scoreline before the half-time. But it's another loose ball from Elise, and you can see, or Jules Koundé, sorry, and you can see the frustration from Kylian Mbappe there, who's not really been played in too many times this half. He's had a couple loose balls thrown his way, through balls as well, but he's not really been able to make any opportunity out of what he's been given here.
No, he hasn't, and there's a few of the French players that have made balls like that as well. They're giving the ball away on a number of occasions from the defence and the midfield, and again, even they're giving the ball away again now. So, yeah, France really they are struggling to get a foothold in the game in midfield at the moment.
That they are, and as we mentioned before, that French midfield, which has been so strong in the past, and where you see a lot of the control, they've just been unable to get a grasp on this game so far. So we're entering the final minute now. Upamecano on the ball, the French defensive half, hoping to make one last opportunity before the half-time whistle. But Didier Deschamps, I think he'll be going into the changing room frustrated that France haven't really put on much of a show here. They've kind of just meandered their way through the first half and hobbled along and not really tested that Senegalese back line or Edouard Mendy at all. So the ball here with Diatta. Senegal now possibly looking to snatch one for the halftime whistle as Idrissa Gueye just brings that ball across to Kamara. And Sadio Mane in there into the box now. Sadio Mane could there. The ball falls across and it's just hit over there by Ismail Assar. That is the best opportunity of the half, and he really should have got that one on target there, Mike.
Yeah, I think if he hits the target, that goes into the back of the net as well from Ismail Assar there. It's a great bit of play from Senegal, and you probably, with Ismail Assar's quality, expected to be putting that one away.
That you do. My heart was in my mouth. I thought I was going to get my first goal of this World Cup commentary, but alas, and it looks like that is half time here at the MetLife Stadium. So we're coming to Mike for his thoughts, but it is France 0, Senegal 0. Mike, what is your assessment of that first half?
Yeah, I think Senegal have been excellent. I think they've really played some good football. Should be ahead, maybe could even be 2 goals ahead as well with the chances they've created. Been the dominant side, 5 shots on goal, 1 on target. France have been the possession team as you'd expect, but when you look at Senegal, I think they've only lost 3 games before this, and you can see why. They've had a really strong showing here in that first half against the French, and unlucky not to be ahead.
Yeah, I agree. They've not given anything up there. As you said, they've defended resolutely. They've done what they've needed to do, and they've had a couple of opportunities in which they were hoping that they could have done better with. But scores 0-0 here at halftime at the MetLife Stadium. Thank you for joining us on the Commentary Hub. We'll be going for a short break, but we will be back for the second half, so make sure you stay tuned.
Thanks to Alex and to Mike there for the first half coverage of the game between France and Senegal. Just some news from the World Cup so far, and news in to us from earlier on today, which I broke actually in the private chat to our team of commentators, that Tunisia sacked head coach Sabri Lamouchi for his side's 5-1 defeat to Sweden on early hours of Sunday morning in the Estadio Monterrey, Mexico. He was sacked immediately after the game. However, we now understand he took training on Monday for being relieved of his duties, with former Morocco and Saudi Arabia boss Hervé Renard appointed as head coach of the side until the end of the summer. Lamouchi's departure means he's the first manager in World Cup history to be sacked after just one game there as well. So that is some news there from the World Cup. Some other news from the World Cup in England. As we know, they take on Croatia tomorrow, which you can hear live here on the commentary with Paul James guiding you through that one tomorrow. However, we understand England are currently in talks over a behind closed doors game between Croatia on Wednesday and Ghana next Tuesday, with the details and the opposition yet to be confirmed. England are based in Kansas City for the duration of the tournament, and rumours are circling that it looks like it could be Sporting Kansas City who England could be playing a behind closed doors friendly against in between the two matches. He'd like to be, and if he goes ahead, he'll be likely to build match fitness for players who will not play significant minutes in that game tomorrow, which you can hear here on the commentary. But incidentally, that is our next live offering on the channel, England against Croatia, from Group L of the World Cup, on air from around about 8:45 for that one, 8:50 with Nicholas Jones and Paul James on air for that one tomorrow for us from the AT&T Stadium, the home of based in Dallas, there for that game tomorrow. And that is what we've got coming up tomorrow for you at halftime. If you are new here for the first time and listening to our coverage here on the commentary hub, please do us a massive favour. Please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button, and we are trying to grow our channel and we're looking to get more games out to you from the World Cup as well on the channel. Make sure you subscribe to us and get your comments in like Nicholas has done today. He is watching this game for tonight and he is saying he's having a beer and eating some peanuts as well with them while having his drink. And he says Norway's, as Alex alluded to, Norway's last World Cup was 1998, when I was 6 years old, as I was born in March 92. Let's just give it out my age there, but oh well. I don't mind giving out my age. You've got to get older at one stage, haven't we, guys? Everyone gets older these days. So the score is France 0, Senegal 0 in Group I of the World Cup match today. If you, as well as subscribing to our commentary channel here this evening on our YouTube, if you could do us a massive favour as well, head over to Facebook and you can follow us on Facebook. We have got a Facebook page over there as well, where we will be posting back on there shortly. So if you do want to follow us on Facebook, it is just type in the commentary up and you will be able to see that one there. Also, we are on X as well, the Commentary Live 1, which is the same name as our YouTube channel. If you are listening on there, just it's the same name as what our YouTube channel is, it's Commentary Live 1. And we're also on Insta and TikTok as well, at the Commentary of 92 on both of those. Make sure you check those out for us as well as we watch this game tonight between France and Senegal. So Alex and Mike have done a great first half commentary. They'll be back with us shortly for the start of the second half commentary. So we're just going to take a quick break. We will return plenty of time for the start of the second half. Don't go anywhere as you are listening here on the commentary of this evening to the game between France and Senegal from the World Cup. Join us shortly for second half action. Welcome back to the CommentHub's coverage of the game between France and Senegal in Group I from the World Cup so far. I just want to bring Mike in a moment. He's away from this game today. There was some news that was broke earlier on this afternoon by England. I just want to ask you, Mike, obviously Tino Livramento was initially called up to the World Cup for England and played some parts in some of the warm-up matches. He then picked up a calf injury during the training session ahead of the match against Croatia tomorrow. And Trevor Chalobah has been called up at his replacement. Do you feel sorry, Mike, for someone, say, like Louis Saul, replacement for him, who could play a left back, or do you think he's calling him up because mainly he's going to probably use him as backup to Reece James, a right back, and that's why it's called Chalobah, because Chalobah has played there for Chelsea. Why do you feel he's chosen Chalobah over someone like Louis Saul? And do you feel sorry for him not getting included, even with this injury, to his club teammate Tino Livramento?
Yeah, so I think you're absolutely right in the fact that Trevor Chalobah has been called up for his position on the right-hand side to cover for Reece James. I think that's the exact reason that he's been called up. But yeah, we do have to feel sorry for Louis Hall. I think he's been excellent for Newcastle this season, and he is probably deserved of a spot as well. I know obviously Nico O'Reilly's in there and will probably be England's left-sided defender there. But you do have to feel a little bit sorry for Louis Hall as well. But I think you're right in what you're saying about Trevor Chalobah. I think he's just been called up as a direct replacement for Livramento's injury.
Do you feel like Livramento could be a big miss? I know he featured in the first friendly, didn't feature in the second one, was friendly against Costa Rica, but he played against New Zealand. Do you think it could be a big miss for England, Mike, with his presence and his versatility that he can operate on the right and on the left? Do you think it could be a big miss there, Mike?
Potentially, but I think obviously we've got enough quality there. Obviously with Reece James, we've got Ezri Konsa that can shift across the right back if need be as well. Obviously, you mentioned there with Trevor Chalobah being called up, so there's enough quality there for England, I think, to still go on. And I don't think it will really have that much of an impact. I know obviously it's a shame for Tino to miss out, but he wouldn't have been the regular starter anyway.
Yes, absolutely not, Mike. I probably would agree with that. Alex, what do you think to that news there with Tino Livramento pulling out, withdrew through a Carpenter and Trevor Chalobah coming in to replace him? Do you feel like Lewis Hall is a bit unlucky not to get included into this England squad as Livramento's replacement?
Yeah, I do, Russ. I do. I think it's important to replace players for like replacements in that time. Whereas I do think Trevor Chalobah is a great defender, and he has been for Chelsea the last couple of seasons. I do think if you're missing out on Tino Livramento, you need some players who can come in and do a similar job. So I think Lewis Hall would have been a better contender, possibly, but it'll be interesting to see what Thomas Tuchel has planned at this World Cup, because I don't think his squad matched anybody's expectations. I wouldn't say it's unconventional in the sense, but he's spoken about picking a strong group of players, and hopefully Trevor Chalobah can add to that.
Yes, I did notice earlier when I saw the news come through, and it was on the TV when I was watching it earlier on today, that Trevor Chalobah had been out on his holiday in the US of A and is now gone to join up with England in Kansas. I wonder if that's part of the reason of why they've chosen him, because he's already been out in the US, so he'll be acclimatised to the weather out there. So I'm wondering if that could be the reason. Do you think that could have played a factor in Chalobah being called up again ahead of Lewis Hall, Mike?
Yeah, most definitely. I think when you're out there already, you're acclimatised. If you've been out there for 3 days, 4 days, maybe even a week, then you're more acclimatised to somebody that's back over here in this country. Because yes, we've got some nice warm weather at the moment, but it's certainly not anywhere near the same level it is in America and that. So yeah, I think it will certainly be a factor for sure.
Right then, without any further ado, the teams are back out.
Thanks,
Mike
Russ.
Harniman,
Yeah.
but first, Alex Peters.
Thank you, Russ. And yeah, teams are back out here. Senegal kicking off. We have them going from right to left. And the score is 0-0 here at the MetLife Stadium. So we'll be hoping for a better second half, won't we, Mike?
Yeah, most definitely, especially from a French point of view. Senegal, as we say, have had those two really good chances at the first half. The one right at the very end from Ismail Assar, and obviously the Nicholas Jackson chance off the post as well. So Senegal, I think they just want more of the same. But France, you want to see a lot more from the likes of Mbappe and Doué and Dembele and Elise and even the midfield too as well. So yeah, you want to see a lot more from France in this second half.
That we do. We have a French free kick here. And just interestingly enough, Mike, both sides today decided to go with what I am calling the PSG kickoff, in which upon kickoff you kick the ball immediately out of play. And that from Senegal was one of the best examples I think I've seen, because they got that right in the corner. And I think it's even more interesting when you consider the 5-second rule as well. So do you think we're going to start seeing more of that kickoff, or do you think it's just a fad and in a year's time we won't be talking about it anymore?
That's quite an interesting kind of way of kicking off, isn't it? And especially as you say with the throw-ins as well. Yeah, maybe so. I'm kind of hoping not, in all fairness, because I kind of just like the conventional kick-off, and then just kind of play it down the touchline, or just kind of keep possession or whatever. I kind of prefer it that way than this new kind of kickoff. But no, not for me. I think hopefully it's not here to stay.
I agree, Mike. It does seem very wasteful in nature, and I am yet to see it actually play off and lead to a goal. But in terms of execution, I think Senegal do it the best I've seen them do it so far. I think PSG had the right idea for a kickoff many moons ago when they had Messi and Mbappe and Neymar in the team, and within 4 passes they had scored. But here's France now with an opportunity to get the first goal of the game, and Desiree Doué just putting a shot wide there, and it's a good opportunity for France, Mike.
Yeah, it's their first shot of the game as well, isn't it? Just at the start of the second half. The first half, they didn't create any chances at all, really, like that I can really remember. So, yeah, that's their first chance of any real note. And even that, not great, really, from a French point of view. So, hopefully they can have their first shot on target shortly.
Yes, let's call a spade in this instance, and it wasn't the best opportunity for Desiree Doué, but they will be buoyed by that. It's good to see them kind of getting upfield and actually getting attempts at goal, which they were unable to do in the first half. But Senegal here with a long ball. Zupamecano just heads it out for what is set to be Senegal's first corner of the game, or is it a goal kick that's been awarded here? Oh, it was offside, I believe so. Yeah, there we are, caught up eventually. We have Mike Magnon passing it out to William Saliba. Just drills the ball forward here. And the French attacking down this left side again, as they were trying in the first half. Tempted to put Koulibaly under pressure here. Teo Hernandez unable to get the ball out, and it's back in possession with Senegal as they boot it long. Saliba collects here. And it looks like the game is following the same suit of the first half, with the French having much more of the ball and Senegal having every man behind the halfway line at the moment. But Nicholas Jackson looking to bait the press here, and I think that is his best asset, Mike. He's a player who I've watched a few times, and I think his finishing is something which can be worked on and polished. Of course, he scored the worst hat-trick of all time against Spurs in that thriller, but I think for a player with his qualities, I think he does so well at, just attacking and putting pressure on that back line.
He does indeed, yeah. And, obviously he had that big chance in the first half as well. So let's see whether he can maybe have another chance or two in this half and get himself on the score sheet, because, he's a really good player. He scored 8 goals for Bayern on loan in the 25-26 campaign. And, even at Chelsea, he scored 24. So he knows where the back of the net is. So hopefully that's going to come to fruition in the second half. And also, by the way, any hat-trick against Spurs is not a bad hat-trick. I'm an Arsenal fan myself. So anyone that scores a hat-trick against Spurs is a winner in my book.
That they are, mate. That they are. And Spurs have obviously been making moves as well in the transfer market so far. They've inquired about players such as Tonali, but they've already got Robertson signed up as well. And another deal today, but the deal itself evades me. I'm not sure if you can help me out there, Mike.
Tottenham, let me have a look. I don't really follow that side of North London. I try and avoid them at all costs.
That's it. Pretending they don't exist. Well, they might as well have not have for the last season or so, do they?
Last 2 seasons, yeah.
Yeah, I say that. I'm a Manchester United fan, and I am still traumatised by that Europa League final. But we're not here.
Yeah, Russ has put it.
That's
Van Hecker
right.
from Brighton. Yeah, good. That's a good signing as well. Yeah.
I see. It's good to have the safety net of producer Russ there to help us out. Of course.
I know, considering he's been staying up till 5, 6 a.m. or 8 a.m. every morning, he's still there's a fountain of knowledge as Russ as well.
That he is. He'll need to tell us the secrets, but here comes Senegal. And France looking to put pressure on, and they have got the ball now as they attack. And here's the 4-man attack of France, looking to make inroads and looking to make a dent on this game, but it's more brilliant defending from Senegal. And that is just how this game has gone as they look to attack. It's getting a bit more end-to-end here now, Mike. And here comes Sadio Mane, and he's just pipped there and ball back with Mike Magnon.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the French are starting to look a little bit brighter in the second half now, and hopefully this means that Senegal will have a bit of work to do defensively, and you might see a bit more of these front four in the attacking end. Russ also says his secrets will not be revealed. Probably watching 5 games a day, Russ. That's probably what it is.
So I don't blame
every player from every division. He'll be able to name you some player from the French 8th division anytime soon. Yeah.
Oh, easy. So I'll take his word for it as well. I believe him. I'm just looking at the Senegal bench here, Mike, just seeing where they can maybe look for an inspiration attack, and they have some great young players here. They have Asana Diao, who's of Como, who secured Champions League qualification for next season. They have Ibrahim Mbaye of PSG, and of course Iliman Ndiaye of Everton, and an opportunity there, for France. Michael Elise with the ball just going over the top, and Edward Mendy shouting at his defence.
Yeah, not great defending, but actually he's really good goalkeeping there from Edouard Mendy. Comes out and gets a good, strong hand on that and gets it away for a corner.
That's right, it's a corner for France, and you're right, brilliant save by Edouard Mendy. Makes himself big and just gets out there to just reduce that space for a shot on goal. But France corner here now. Michael Elise will be hoping for better deliveries than what they had in the first half. It's an opportunity for France. Upamecano and Saliba waiting in the middle there. And it's claimed once again by Edward Mendy. And it's not had too much luck from those corners at the moment, Mike.
No, they haven't. And it's obviously very, very wasteful. You know, you've got the likes of Upamecano and Saliba coming up from the back there. This occasion and the occasion at the end of the first half as well. And, not even beating the first man. Both occasions just going comfortably into the gloves of the goalkeeper. So something that the French might have to work on, because yes, originally it's a really good save, but then from the corners they've really, as I say, they're not beating the first man yet. So need to get maybe who was the lad that is the guy that does the set piece coach at Arsenal? Maybe he could go and help him out.
And imagine you would have his number, if anyone. There we go.
Is it Carlos Cuesta? Is it something like that?
Yeah. Okay. Not too familiar with the backroom staff of Arsenal, so I will take your word for it there, Mike.
I'll double check. I think it is Cuesta, the guy, something like that. Anyhow.
But obviously done great work this season with the amount of goals came from set pieces for Arsenal. Here's Senegal once again. Nicholas Jackson in possession. Can he get a shot off here? And it's just through the legs, and Mike Maignan claims comfortably once again. It's good defending there from Upamecano, just getting across and preventing the opportunity for Senegal. And do we have confirmation on that set piece, Coach Mike?
I'm just seeing whether it is, because let me see whether it was him. No, he was the assistant coach. But he's now actually gone to Parma now, hasn't he?
Oh, okay. The plot thickens. If we see a Parma journey to Europe in the next few seasons, we know why.
Yeah.
So ball now back with Senegal. So 0-0 here at the MetLife Stadium. You are watching or listening to this game with me and Mike Harniman live, and here's Senegal once again. Nicholas Jackson just unable to get a foot on it as the ball rolls to Mike Maignan once again. And Senegal creating a few opportunities here, but not being able to make anything of them as the ball's back with Jules Koundé. Comes back to Chouameni now. France looking to get up the pitch as the game approaches the 60-minute mark, and they're still yet to make a real impact here. What substitutions would you be looking at, Mike? Who do you think Didier Deschamps will be looking to bring off the bench?
So you're looking at Mateta potentially. You're looking at Zaire Emery potentially. There's a few other ones as well, but they'll be the ones I'd go to. Maybe one of those two first of all. I think it's actually Nicolas Jova, the Arsenal set piece coach, is the guy I was on about.
Rings a bell, and here's Mbappe. It's saved once again by Edward Mendy, who comes out, makes himself big as Mbappe shoots straight at the keeper. And Elise now, France having a bit more joy moving forward. The ball out wide here. Mbappe once again, brilliant bit of skill, but it's a corner, and that is arguably France's best opportunity of the game so far, Mike.
Yeah, it is, and not before time as well. They've had the couple of moments now where you'd expect maybe Mbappe to be putting that one away. But, you know, as I say, a couple of chances here for France now when we're getting closer to you getting your first goal of the tournament.
I eagerly await it, Mike. I eagerly await it. Hopefully it can come from this corner here. As France looking to make something of these opportunities here. They go short this time. As the ball comes back in and unable to beat the first man again as Senegal look to counter. The ball back with Senegal now, just hit long and back in possession with France. And that final pass is letting both teams down, producer Russ tells us, and I have to agree. It's just getting into these good areas.
I agree with that.
Yeah, getting into the good areas there, Mike, but just when it comes to the moment to make the killer pass, they're just unable to do it. And I think you're right, where a player like Warren Zaire-Emery or even Cherki coming off the bench, they could potentially unlock them. Here comes Mbappe, and he's brought down here. And the referee is not given a penalty yet. It will go to VAR, but it looks like the defender comes crashing in there, Mike.
Yeah, it was a number 25, wasn't it? El Hadj Malik Diouf. And it looks like the referee has decided not to give a penalty here, first of all. But as you say, it will go to VAR and they will check it. But for me, it could potentially be given that, you know. That's he was late there.
It was. Looking at the replays, it does look very close. It looks like there is contact, but is there enough contact to change the referee's mind? He did award a corner originally, as the VAR room will just be looking at that. There wasn't too much of a protest from Mbappe himself. A couple French players surrounding the referee, but we await the VAR check here as Senegal will be hoping that penalty won't be awarded here. It's tough to call, Mike. It's tough to call.
Yeah, that is a very difficult one. It could go either way, really. But I think for me, I think he does catch him, but there's probably not really that much in it for Mbappe to go down.
No, and I think a striker of Kylian Mbappe's expertise understands that if a player is flying in like that, you want to try and get the contact. You obviously want to try and fashion up an opportunity.
I'm seeing here from another angle, though, just a second angle, and he does catch him. Let's have a look here, because I think they are actually going to go to the monitor as well, which normally means you're going to get overturned when they go to the monitor more often than not.
I think you're right there, Mike, as the referee comes over to take a look here, and it looks like we could be seeing a penalty here. Just waiting to see that other angle. As from the initial one, there's really not too much in it. And Didier Deschamps' men will be hoping for their first opportunity at a goal here at the 2026 World Cup. So the score still 0-0 at the moment as we await the outcome of this VAR review. 60 minutes on the clock. France 0, Senegal 0 at the MetLife Stadium. You are listening on the commentary hub with me, Alex Peters, and Mike Harniman, as the referee is ready to announce his decision to the stadium here. As he has awarded a penalty, and Les Blues will have the opportunity. Oh, it's no penalty. No penalty has been awarded. I apologise. As Sadio Mane celebrates there. And it didn't look like there was a lot in it. And surprisingly, Mike, the ref went to the monitor and he is stuck with his original decision.
Yeah, which is very rare, isn't it? Normally when you go to the monitor, you see the decisions being overturned or reversed. It's very rare you see it stuck with the main decision. But I think they've come to the right conclusion anyway for me.
Yes, I think the referee was right to stick with the original decision there of no penalty. I don't think there was enough there to overturn it or to show that an error had been made. And Senegal now, they'll be buoyed by that. They'll be hoping that they can go out and get a winner themselves, Mike.
Yeah, and they've shown a few opportunities in the first half as well. You know, they're more than capable of doing so. And, you know, we said it at half time, they should probably be ahead anyway. It could be maybe even 2 goals ahead with the chances they had in the first half.
We have Didier Deschamps here. Still protesting, still arguing with the 4th official about the penalty claim. I would say that it's in the past now. There's nothing he can do with it.
Move on at this point and just kind of try and see if you can find a way to win the game. Maybe go to your bench at this point, and as you say, you've got Emery, you've got Cherki. This is where you need to be focusing on now, rather than just looking back over what may or may not have been. Yeah.
I agree, Mike. I agree. I imagine, or I hope, some substitutions will be coming sooner rather than later for France, as we have 62 minutes on the clock here as the ball goes long for Senegal. It's a great touch there. And here we are in possession. Ismail Assar gets the ball down to Kamara.
Of course, Barcola was another one I was going to mention that could come on as well and have an impact.
Of course, Bradley Barcola of PSG scored in last year's Champions League final. As you mentioned, linked heavily to Arsenal, who they defeated in this year's edition. This ball goes out again for the French throw-in. I had to bring you down ever so slightly, Mike. I'm sorry. All right, it'll be the last mention. So we look at the referee view here for the penalty. Surrounded by Les Blues players.
What's Russ saying? World Cup final assistant referee Darren Can from 2010 says, for me, this is a penalty. There was no contact on the ball. And the defender brings down Mbappe. Referee says Mbappe initiates the contact. So, kind of, even the ex-pro referees are not convinced.
That they're not. Well, I was just going to comment. It's a brilliant turn there from Michael Elise. Picks up the ball and runs at that Senegalese defence. He plays the ball through to Mbappe, whose touch just lets him down once again. Unable to sort of poke it past Edouard Mendy there. But that's what they need. French need to rely on their players. And here comes Senegalese again. And the ball goes out of play for a goal kick. Teo Hernandez now. There's a bit of pace to this game. There's a bit of bite, a bit of urgency, Mike, which is nice to see, especially after the first 60 minutes were so uninspiring.
Yeah, it's taken its time to get itself going, this game, but now you can see both sides want to try and make something happen, and the French in particular have looked better since half-time.
I'm still waiting. First substitutions of the game, of course, which could change everything. But we're still waiting for the first goal of this game, and me personally, I'm still waiting for the first goal of my World Cup 2026 commentary. But I'm sure it will come. I'm sure it will come, even with penalty decisions being turned away. Here's Mbappe once again looking to change the tie, and another block shot there. And Senegal have been resolute in that back line. They've not let anything in. And here comes France again, trying to make that opening, trying to find their way in behind, but it's just great defending. Here's Desiree Doué, loses the ball once again, and it's cleared, but only cleared as far as Upamecano, who gets the ball out to Koundé. Koundé now finds out wide to Michael Elise. Michael Elise, similar position, which he scored that brilliant goal against Northern Ireland. Plays the ball back to Koundé. Elise now, it's a brilliant ball. It's a brilliant goal. And that is what we have been waiting for. Kylian Mbappe gets the first goal of Les Blues' 2026 World Cup campaign. And what a pass that was from Michael Elise, Mike.
Yeah, what a phenomenal pass that was from Michael Elise there. Kylian Mbappe does very, very well as well. Keeps himself on side. And it's poor defending from Koulibaly, but a really well taken first time effort from Kylian Mbappe, who gets himself and the French up and running in this tournament.
Picking up from where he left off in the 2022 final, where he scored a hat-trick. Kylian Mbappe, he holds his run brilliantly, and it's a perfect finish past Edward Mendy. He just rolls it across into the corner of the goal. Just waits for the ball to reach him. And that pass from Elise, as we mentioned, the top assister in the Bundesliga this season. And brilliant pass. Les Blues will be overjoyed with that. It's 1-0 to France, 67 minutes.
And you finally got your first goal as well after a game and, 3 quarters?
I have tears in my eyes, Mike. I have tears in my eyes. I thought it was never going to come at one point. And here we are, the ball back in play now, back in possession with France as they look to add to their lead. Kylian Mbappe, who has got a taste for it now. He's opened his account for this World Cup, his 3rd World Cup. As mentioned, he's picked up where he's left off with another goal here. And they needed that, France. But here is Senegal. Could they get an opportunity? It's in the back of the net, but the offside flag is up. They will be looking at that. Nicholas Jackson with a brilliant finish. But he did look offside, Mike.
Yeah, for me, he is offside there. And you think, if you're looking from a Senegalese point of view, obviously they're now training this game, and they had those moments in the first half as well. Nicholas Jackson off the post, and the one with Ismail Assar as well. So, yeah, this has been ruled out for offside. Yeah, the fact that France are now ahead, the Senegalese will be ruining those 2 missed chances from the first half for sure.
That they will, Mike. That they will. And just going back to the substitutions, of course, we have a hydration break coming up here, but I feel like that changes the game plan for both sides. Obviously, Senegal may be looking to bring on some more attacking threat, but as opposed to the attackers now, I think France will be looking at what defenders they could bring on. So, obviously, you got Ibrahim Konate recently joining Real Madrid, Maxime Lacroix, also Conference League winner with Crystal Palace, Lucas Hernandez, brother Teo Hernandez. So, who do you think France will be looking to bring on, and Senegal in this instance, Mike?
Yeah, so you'd probably want, from a French point of view, maybe somebody like your Lucas Hernandez to come on, as you say, or potentially they could be even bringing on Konate. But from the Senegalese point of view, you'd want maybe a Njai. I'm not really sure, really, from Senegalese point of view. Maybe they'll stick with it for a little while longer because they've got enough quality on there as well. But yeah, I think you will see them go to the bench shortly, I'm sure.
I agree, Mike. I think they've got their best 11 on the pitch at the moment, Senegal, but they do have those young attackers, and then Ndiaye, Diao, and Baye, PSG, of course, who could possibly change the game. But it was coming. You felt like the goal was coming. France had just ramped up that pressure a little bit more. They were getting in behind that bit, but it took a brilliant pass from Kylian Mbappe to finally unlock that Senegalese back line. Oh, a brilliant pass from Michael Elise, apologies.
Yeah. But now you said about Elise, didn't you, as well? You said it earlier on in the coverage about how well he's done for Bayern this season, the amount of assists that he's got. You know, he's a really fantastic player. Obviously, he was at Crystal Palace beforehand, then got his big money move to the German league, the Bundesliga, and he's carried on really, and where he left off in his time at Palace.
He has thrived over in Germany, similar to Harry Kane, who's done so well since he's gone over there, as it looks like the end of the hydration break and the sprinklers are on, and Kylian Mbappe looks like he's getting a quick shower before we play out the remainder of this second half. 70 minutes on the clock. France 1, Senegal 0 at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. You are listening on the Commentators Hub with me, Alex Peters, and Mike Harniman, and France will be looking to see out this victory and get an important 3 points in the context, because as we mentioned before, they've not got an easy group, still yet to play Iraq and of course Norway, and I think that Norway game will definitely be some trouble, but if the score stays like this, they'll be more than happy. Here's Koundé now playing the ball out to Elise once again as it bobbles over. Elise back on the ball, attempts a shot, reaches Mendy, but never really troubling him there as he smiles, knowingly that it wasn't the most feared effort in the world. Is the ball back in possession?
No, it was quite
Senegal now.
Easy save, wasn't it, really, in the end? Yeah.
Yeah, Mendy will be hoping to save shots like that all day if possible, but here we are now as Koulibaly's looking to get the ball upfield. Senegal not had too many attacking threats in this second half. They were the better side in the first half. I think we both agree on that, but outside of the Nicholas Jackson offside goal, there's not been too many opportunities for them, Mike.
No, there hasn't, and you'd expect them to, as I say, go to the bench pretty shortly. Although they do have enough quality on the pitch, sorry, I should say, as well, with Mane and Sarr and Jackson to cause the French some problems, as had already been proven. Yeah,
most definitely, and it's a Senegal corner here now. So coming up to 72 minutes, and still no substitutions from either side. Both sides happy with the performances that they're seeing at the moment. I'd say for the lack of attacking threat, Senegal, up until the goal, had defended brilliantly, I thought. They didn't give France a sniff, but it comes across as that type of game that it needed a moment of brilliance, and Michael Elise was right on cue to deliver that brilliance.
Yeah, it was a lovely pass, wasn't it? And a lovely finish from Kylian Mbappe as well. First time on the swivel, and then just puts it into the bottom corner past Edouard Mendy. And France, as I say, started the second half a lot better than they did the first. They did deserve the goal on the balance of the second half performance so far.
Tend to agree, Mike. It's a wasted corner there by Papa Guy as it sails over.
I think every corner we've seen in this game from either side has been dreadful, hasn't it? Literally, we've not had a single good corner in this game yet.
They haven't. They have not. But here comes France looking to get a second. There's a brilliant effort there from Desiree Doué. Another shot on target. And Mendy has made a few saves this game. He's, especially in the second half, he's been called upon a lot more. I think that's his third save of the second half.
Yeah, it was. He's made 3 really good saves, and then obviously couldn't really do anything on the goal. But yeah, as I say, France a lot better in the second half.
Agree, Mike. And it's a corner here for France. A couple Senegal players ready to come on and join the action, but another short corner here. Michael Elise. Ball comes out to Hernandez. Finds Koundé. Kylian Mbappe now. Koundé once again is a back heel, but intercepted there by Senegal as they look to counter. It's a brilliant pass and play here. Sadio Mane looking to collect the ball again. Nicholas Jackson fouled as the ball goes out of play. And it's a throw-in to the French. And I believe we will now get the substitutions here. So coming onto the pitch.
2 subs coming up for Senegal now, yeah.
That's right. We have Mbaye of PSG coming on for Ismail Assar of Crystal Palace. And it looks like we also have Diarra coming on for Camara in central midfield.
That's right. Diarra, of course, playing for Sunderland as well in the Premier League.
Of course. I'm not sure if you heard that stat the other day, Mike, of there being more Sunderland players at this World Cup than Madrid players. And I think about a season and a half ago, nobody could have predicted that.
No, that's crazy, isn't it? No, nobody would have expected that. But the rise of Sunderland across the last few years, it's great to see him on the world stage.
I agree, and it's a testament to Lebris and the work he's done of bringing those players in last window. Obviously, they got such an eclectic mix of players. I remember everybody talking about them when they were bringing it in. I think it was 15 plus in the end. And they ended the season with European football, which is incredible. And you see that at the World Cup, given the amount of representatives that they have. But here is Senegal now, looking to fashion an opening. And once again, ball back with France. They look to attack. Ousmane Dembele gets the ball out wide to his PSG teammate, Desiree Doué. He manages to beat one, but it's good defending once again by Diatta. who wins the free kick. Or Diarra, apologies. And France will not mind the game being slowed down right now. I don't think they will park the bus and defend and send on more defensive recruits, but I do think they'll be taking these opportunities now to let the game just slow down where they can and sort of avoid all of these new rules that have been coming into play to stop time wasting. But here come France once again, and it's a free kick awarded here now, and they have an opportunity with Kylian Mbappe, and I think they'll take some more time on the ball here, Mike.
Yeah, I think they will as well. They're not going to be in any hurry to get a shot away here. I don't think. I think it's the number 11, Michael Elise that's over it. But yeah, I think they just want to kind of keep possession for a bit now, and kind of play a bit of keep ball and don't let Senegal win. Don't do anything silly, anything stupid. Yeah,
that's right. And a team with the experience that France have, as mentioned before, with Didier Deschamps, who's won the World Cup as a player and a manager. They'll be looking to close this game out. But Michael Elise standing over it as the ball comes in. And once again, still in the penalty area, bobbling around as France look to recover. Here's Senegal. It's a brilliant tackle there by Chouameni. I have to give him credit there as France have possession once again on this left-hand side. Desiree Doué, ball comes back. Chouameni, they'll just be more than happy to recycle the ball here, France. Keep possession. Let the Senegalese players come onto them, try and bait the press, and then look for that opening to get in behind. And here's Hernandez now. The ball comes back out to William Saliba. 78 minutes on the clock. France 1, Senegal 0 here at the MetLife Stadium as the ball is back with Mike Magnon. Ball goes long once again.
just looking here at the French substitutes as well. I know obviously we've got N'Golo Kante if they want to kind of change things up in midfield a little bit, and he can come on and sit and kind of just go in front of the back four and kind of just help them to shut Senegal out a little bit. But then if you also look at the fact that Senegal are going to have to try and go for a goal as well, you might want to see a Bradley Barcola come on and potentially have a bit of an impact on the counter-attack maybe.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent assessment there, Mike. I think those two substitutions should be the exact ones that Didier Deschamps should look to make, as I think there's not many better players in the world than N'Golo Kante at sort of shutting out a game and running down and chasing down opposition. And looks like we have Bradley Barcola coming on right now. Ousmane Dembele offered the pitch. And you're right, he provides that outlet for them if they are facing that wall of pressure. If they do get the ball and they do get the opportunity to go long, then there's not many players quicker than Barcola and Doué to sort of take that ball upfield for them, Mike.
No, for sure. And I think that's a really smart bit of a smart move there, a smart substitution there for Didier Deschamps to get Bradley Barcola on, because, as I say, Senegal are going to have to go for a all-out attack really to try and get themselves a goal now. So there's an opportunity for France to utilise him on the counter.
That's right, Senegal Rec, which is the national slogan between fans, which roughly translates to only Senegal in English. As mentioned before, this is the third meeting between these two sides, with the last two ending in victories for Senegal. But France with the lead at the moment, as we have just crossed the 80-minute mark. Just to mention that there was an opportunity for Nicholas Jackson about a minute ago, another blade shot over the bar. But here come France once again. Michael Elise, who's taken up a more central position now since Dembele's gone off. It looks like Barcola's come out on the left. He's been fouled there, but the ball back with Senegal at the moment. Elise still on the floor. Referee not interested. Not one bit interested in that foul there as the ball comes out wide here.
I think he's right not to be interested as well.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Elise was already looking at the ref before he'd even hit the floor there, so he knew exactly what he was doing. Here's Senegal once again. Here's Papa Gay, as mentioned earlier in the show, not related to his centre mid compatriot Idrissa Gueye as they look to just try and infiltrate this French back line, who have done well here as the ball comes back out. It's Rabiot. And here is Barcola. It's two. It's two for France. It's a lovely dink. And not long after coming onto the pitch, Bradley Barcola has got his first goal at the World Cup. And another brilliant move from France, Mike.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying about bringing Bradley Barcola on as well, because Senegal have got to go for it now. They have to go and get themselves an equaliser. And then you've got Bradley Barcola, who everyone knows what he can do for club and obviously for country here as well. He's just been proven again now, who's come on there. And he's tucked that away nicely. Just dinked that one over the goalkeeper there, Edouard Mendy. And that's what Didier Deschamps would have wanted from his substitute. Straight away, he's only been on the pitch for a matter of minutes. And then he's probably going to give them the victory as well there.
What an impact, Mike. His first real opportunity at goal. And it's a lovely dink over the keeper. So composed. Mendy rushing out. And he's done that so well so far in this game. He's blocked some brilliant opportunities from France. But not that time. Barcola had the foresight. He saw him in his line of vision coming out. And the composure to dink that over a keeper, especially after being on the pitch for only a matter of minutes, is admirable. It's a similar celebration to the one we saw last night from the Iranian player, and the French and Les Blues fans will be happy with the scoreline. So it's France 2, Senegal 0, 83 minutes on the clock here, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. And Senegal have really got it all to do now. I think that they've just gone to the bench as well. I couldn't quite see who it was that they've just brought on, but they have just brought on a reinforcement as well. And I think not before time, really, in all fairness as well. I think that it was, in fact, double substitution they've just made.
It is. So we've seen Nicholas Jackson and Papa Guy come off, and instead we have seen Dieng and Iliman Ndiaye of Everton join the field. And you're right, it's not an ideal situation for Senegal, who had done so well throughout the game until that Kylian Mbappe goal in the 66th minute. And France hadn't really gone at him up until that, but a brilliant bit of play from Adrien Rabiot, who just took that ball forward, took it into a dangerous position, and he had the nous to find that pass. But here comes Senegal now, trying to fashion an opportunity. And Adrien Rabiot, just to touch on him, Mike, I think he's such an interesting case, of course. He's not really somebody that people talk about when it comes to great French midfielders, but he definitely has the tenure. He's appeared at these tournaments as we have an opportunity for Senegal here, but Mike Maignan claims comfortably. But it was another bit of brilliance there from him to unlock what has been a really tough Senegalese defence.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you say, Adrien Rabiot there has been a real formidable part of the French national team here for a little while now. And with that pass in particular, he's shown his quality as well. So really good delivery, and then obviously a really well taken goal from the substitute Barcola as well. And it's quite an interesting one, as you say, with Rabiot, but he's not your kind of usual French midfielder. He's very technical in the way that he plays, which is a very kind of different style really compared to what you would have been used to back in the day with the likes of Vieira and Zidane, who were quite a lot more physical and kind of hard in the tackle, weren't they? But Rabiot is more of the new age midfielder, where he's kind of a more creative-minded player, sorry, I should say.
I agree. He plays a very nuanced role in this French side now of AC Milan after falling out with the players and staff at Marseille at the start of last season. But he's done well. Obviously, Mike Maignan also there, and they'll both be joining Ruben Amorim next season. But here, France 2-0 up in their opening game of the 2026 World Cup. We'll have our player of the match from Mike very shortly as well. But 86 minutes on the clock here. If all stays the same, I think Didier Deschamps will be very happy with this second half performance, as it looks like we are about to see the World Cup debut of Ryan Cherki. Desiree Doué coming off the pitch here. He's had an okay game.
Yeah, he's done okay. Nothing spectacular. He's not pulled any trees up as of yet in this tournament. But his time will definitely come. He's, a real quality player. And, he's still very, very young as well. So his time will definitely come. But for me, Senegal kind of had the better of him on this game today.
I agree. I think France had been looking to come down that left side, but they weren't getting much joy. As Diatta, I think he's had quite a good game in terms of locking up Desiree Doué, who, of course, scored that hat-trick in the Champions League final against Inter when PSG won 5-0. Not too sure about the Champions League final this season, of course, but here comes Bradley Barcola once again as the ball goes out of play for a Senegal goal kick. And it looks like we're going to see another substitution here. Looks like the veteran Idrissa Gueye. It looks like his race is run. And he is to be replaced.
Right. So neither of the Gueyes are going to finish the game. Idrissa or Pape, both getting subbed off.
Both subbed off within a minute of each other as well. So it's not like we've even had the luxury of enjoying just one Gueye on the field.
No, that's right. Yeah. The Papa Gueye, though, he was the one that actually scored the goal that won them the AFCON in the end as well. And obviously, we still don't know what's going to happen with that. But at the moment, it's been given to Morocco. But yeah, as I said before, they're trying to overturn that still. They want to put an appeal in, or they might even have an appeal in already.
I believe they put that appeal into CAS, and it does feel like a case that can go on for years. I believe we'll probably have more AFCONs and more winners before we get the outcome of that. But it was such a peculiar case in the first place, because I remember when the decision was announced and announced into our group chat how I had never seen anything like that in football, where you saw the result be overturned months after the game had happened. I thought there was kind of this unwritten rule between football fans that, for as aggrieved as we may feel, whatever the game finishes on the pitch, that is the result. And that AFCON overturn, that was the first instance that we saw it being changed. And of course, in such an important tie for Morocco, winning the tournament on their home soil.
Yeah, that's right. And obviously, they've been awarded a 3-0 win. As I say, it was all over a contentious penalty, wasn't it, at the end of the I think about 25 minutes into injury time that was given, that's why the Senegalese players walked off the pitch, although the penalty was missed anyway. The manager and a large portion of the Senegalese players walked off the pitch.
That they did. It was another corner just then for Senegal, but overhit once again. As we approach the 90-minute mark, we will be having Mike's man of the match very soon, but France looking more and more likely to be picking up the 3 points today and getting their first win of the 2026 World Cup campaign. So we have an additional 8 minutes here in New Jersey at the MetLife Stadium. As we mentioned before, this is the stadium that the World Cup final will be being played in. And I don't know about you, Mike, I personally would have preferred a stadium such as the Azteca.
Yeah, I think it's a nice stadium. I mean, when you look at it, it looks like a very, really nice stadium to have the final win. But yeah, I think you'd probably expect it to be at the Azteca, maybe. Yeah,
definitely a stadium littered with football history, of course. LA lifting the World Cup, Maradona's hand of God, and arguably one of the best goals of all time. But we'll be hoping for new history to be written in the MetLife Stadium. And we've seen that today as France, who up until this game had never beaten Senegal in recorded history, and they're looking to add to that now as Ryan Cherki is flying down this right-hand side, looking to get the ball in. He can't find Elise, and here comes Senegal with 7 minutes remaining. A goal now could make these final moments a bit more interesting here, but they've not really looked like scoring, to be honest, Mike. They've not really threatened Mike Maignan or troubled this France back line in any way.
No, they haven't. Not since Nicholas Jackson's goal. It was disallowed for offside. That's the only one in this half. And then there was the 2 in the first half as well for Jackson off the post, and the one at the end of the first half with Sarr as well. But not really since France went 2-0 up. Anyway, they've not really had any opportunities, and France are keeping possession and keeping the ball very nicely as well. And I think they just want to see the game out at this point, and I can't really see any reason why they won't.
I agree. It's been a disciplined performance from Didier Deschamps, man. There may have been some frustration towards the end of the first half, but they were patient. They waited for their opportunity. And when it came in the 66th minute, Michael Elise unlocked that Senegalese backline with a brilliant pass and an even more acute finish from Kylian Mbappe, slotting it into the corner. And then Adrien Rabiot, not long after he had come on, Bradley Barcola picks up a through ball from him and chips it over Edouard Mendy. And that's the story so far. So our TV cameras are just showing us Gareth Bale watching this game, and I'm sure he would have enjoyed this second half. But Edouard Mendy, or Mike Maignan, sorry, on the ball now. As France, as you mentioned, Mike, just looking to see out this game and waste any time where possible.
Yeah, and I think that the time for Senegal to score, they have to score now, really, if they're going to score, because then they've still got a few minutes there to try and go for an equaliser. If they don't score now, then they're probably not going to have any opportunities to get anything from this game.
You might the ball with Senegal now. They're looking to make inroads into the France penalty area, but you're right. I think a goal is needed very much now if they want to get anything from this game, but it's looking very unlikely as there's another loose ball blocked by France there as it goes for a throw-in. So while we got the time, we can have our man of the match, and that today will be presented by Mike. So Mike, I will let you do the honours.
Yeah, so I've gone with the French number 11, Michael Elise. I think that he had a really big part in the first goal. Got himself an assist as well. There's the stats there: passing accuracy of 88.9%, total of 54 passes. He was involved in the one where France could have potentially had a penalty as well, which was overturned. But yeah, I've given it to Elise.
I agree with you there, Mike. He's been brilliant in creating the opportunities that France have had today, and that pass in itself is deserving of winning any Player of the Match award. But here we have Senegal looking for possibly a consolation as they attack down this right-hand side. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant goal. And what an effort we have just seen. And Senegal give themselves a chance at getting something out of this game. It's the PSG youngster, Mbaye. And what a goal we just saw there, Mike.
Yeah, it's a lovely finish from Ibrahim Mbaye there. Bit poor goalkeeping actually from Mike Maignan. He maybe could have done a little bit better there from a French point of view. But we did say Senegal have to score pretty much now to have any chance of maybe going on and getting a surprising point here. And they've still got time. They've still got a couple of minutes to do so.
Didier Deschamps throws his water bottle to the ground in frustration. Kylian Mbappe's arms go up in bemusement, and the Senegalese fans rejoice in that consolation as they will now go on to look for an equaliser. But here's Michael Elise. The play goes on. Kylian Mbappe! Oh my word! We have just witnessed arguably the goal of the tournament. And what a way to respond, Mike.
Oh, what a finish from Kylian Mbappe there. Lovely first time effort. And goalkeeper Edouard Mendy, absolutely no chance. Kylian Mbappe left unmarked, and for somebody of his quality, that's foolish from a Senegalese point of view to do that. But what a strike that is, and I'm not even going to say arguably goal of the tournament. That's going to take some beating. That really will take a lot of beating.
An absolute bullet from the Madrid striker. And you're right, Mike. You cannot give this man a sniff. You can't give him an opportunity, even 25 yards out, even falling backwards. He gets his shot off, and you're right. That is going to take some beating. And just when France looked like it might have been a touchy end, their star player stands up with a phenomenal effort.
And you just have to, look at that and admire it, really, don't you? If you look at it from multiple different angles later on, if you're able to see it from, different kind of angles to the one that's originally been shown, that's going to just get better and better. If you see that from behind the goal, just imagine how good that's going to look.
I can't wait to watch the replays, Mike. I think it's a goal which we will see a lot of replays of across the next couple of weeks. And the Senegalese fans had hope for about a minute, but Kylian Mbappe, when you have the quality, when you have the talent that this man possesses, you can change a game on a sixpence. And here comes Senegal again, trying to look for another goal. But you must say it's got to be in vain now, Mike.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, I think these two Kylian Mbappe goals have been the difference, really. Obviously, the first one, which was a really well taken goal into the bottom corner. I'm just seeing that goal again, the third goal there. And it's a wonderful bit of play from Elise. And just looking at that even from the referee's view there as well, what a finish that is from Kylian Mbappe. And that's why that he's going to go on. He's going to have such a brilliant tournament. And that's why if France are to go all the way, he's the man they want to be in form. And he started off like a house on fire so far in the second half today.
That he has. It's more brilliant work from your man of the match, Elise, as well. He just holds off the two defenders and sort of just bobbles that ball into the path of Kylian Mbappe. One touch and bang, he unleashes an absolute rocket past Edouard Mendy, and he sends the French fans crazy. And he looks like he has secured the 3 points for his side here and puts him as joint top goal scorer. So he finished top goal scorer in 2022, and it looks like once again he's picking up where he left off, Mike.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's a really good couple of goals there that he scored as well. Two very different goals, one from inside the box and then the one on the half volley there as well from about 25 yards, as you say, and a lovely goal nonetheless, that one too. So yeah, the first and the second goals for Kylian Mbappe, really, really well taken. And France, overall, based on the second half performance, good value for the win as well.
Fully agreed, Mike. We got the same amount of goals in added time as we did the entire game, and that is full time here in New Jersey. France 3, Senegal 1. Kylian Mbappe, the captain, the talisman, the phenomenon that he is, with a brilliant effort in stoppage time to win the game. But that was not to be said without the brilliance of Michael Elise, who unpicked that Senegal back line before Bradley Barcola added to it. There was a consolation from Mbappe, but as we mentioned, Kylian Mbappe with the goal of the tournament so far. And I would love to hear your thoughts on that game, Mike.
Oh, what a performance that was from France in the second half. They were dogged in the first half. They saw the game through to 0-0. Senegal obviously had a few big moments where they could have won in at half time, and that's what kind of will come back, and that's what will bite them. That's what their regret will be, is the fact they didn't score a couple of goals in the first half. But then second half, the French came out. They were very, very good, very controlled, very disciplined, and pretty much on the back of going 1-0 up through the first Kylian Mbappe goal, it was probably all France really after that. And really good bit of play from Elise, who was given the player of the match. I thought he was a really, really good player for them in this game. Barcola came off the bench as well. As I said, would have been a smart decision, and they did go to the bench and do that. And he got his goal as well. They did get a goal back to Senegal, and then you thought for a minute or two they might have a chance of snatching an equaliser and getting an unlikely point. But then you've got that absolute world-class finish from Kylian Mbappe, and yeah, you're never going to get sick of watching that back. I could watch that back 20, 30, 40, 50 times and never get bored of that.
It's absolutely ridiculous, Mike. It's just a finish which, as I saw him take the shot and then the ball sail up, I just thought there's got to be a chance, surely. And you just saw it get past Edward Mendy. And what a goal that is deserving of winning any game like it has today. France 3, Senegal 1. My name is Alex Peters. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing this game to you on the Commentators Hub. I have been here today alongside Mike Harniman, and we have had an absolute pleasure.
Thoroughly enjoyed that game, Alex. I told you you'd get your goals as well, and that's 2 consecutive 3-1s for me now as well, on the back of covering the US 3-1 over Paraguay. So my next one's Scotland on Friday, I should say, against Morocco. Let's see if I can get another 3-1 scoreline again. Be nice.
You're a good luck charm. Mike. I hope the best for you, and I hope this continues for me on my next game. My next game will be Portugal versus Uzbekistan on TCHub. But more importantly, we have England's first game tomorrow. So make sure you tune in. Make sure that you subscribe. That will be at 9 p.m. BST time, live here on the TC Hub. But as I say, it's been an absolute pleasure bringing you this show. Me and Mike have had a great time, and we will now go back to producer Russ in the studio.
Thank you very much, Alex and Mike. I just want to bring you this stat here. I'm just looking at the World Cup record scorers here now. We just have closer, 6 for Germany, 16. The original Ronaldo, R9 for Brazil, 15 goals. Gerd Muller for West Germany, 14 goals. Kylian Mbappe with these two today puts him on to 14 World Cup goals as well. Just Fontaine with 13 goals for France as well. Lionel Messi on 13 goals. He starts his World Cup campaign in the early hours of the morning. And Pele, the brilliant Pele for Brazil, with 12 goals. And what company for Mbappe to be in there in the record scorers in the World Cup, Alex?
Absolutely incredible, Russ. It's also put him ahead of Olivier Giroud as France's all-time top goal scorer with 58 goals. And what a goal to put him in the lead. And I think he definitely has a stake of claim of getting that all-time World Cup goal scorer record. And, well, for 3 tournaments, he's made such an impact, And if he's starting this one in this way, I fear how far he could go.
Yes, absolutely. And Mike, as I've just said to Alex there, what a company of players for Mbappe to be in that list there with Klose, the original R9, Gerd Muller, Fontaine, Messi, and the Brazilian legend Pele as well, man. What a list of players to be in the world of record World Cup goal scorers there, Mike.
Oh, absolutely. And it's scary that he's only going to get better as well. He's only 27 years old. And, you can see for PSG, he scored 162 goals for them, 56 goals for Real Madrid so far, 58 for France now. And, he's only 27 years old as well. So he's still got plenty of action in him and plenty of major tournaments as well. He's going to go on and he'll certainly have more of an impact in this tournament. He'll go on and score a few more goals without any question of a doubt. And, he's only young as well. So at 27 years old, he's going to be a really great player for some years to come.
Absolutely indeed, Mike. Absolutely indeed. Just want to ask you both this a quick question. And I'll come to you first on this one, Alex. Lionel Messi and Mbappe, do you think both of those will pass the closest record of 16 goals on the World Cup stage? Messi's got 13, Mbappe's got 14. Do you think they both will get past closest record of 16?
Well, Messi could definitely get 4 goals at this tournament, you know, if he stays fit with the added game as well. But I'd be putting my money on Kylian Mbappe. I think he's possibly got another 3 tournaments, and who knows how many teams could be in the World Cup by then. We could be looking at a 100-team World Cup, so he'd have plenty of games to get the record. But yeah, I'd definitely go with Mbappe, especially after another 2 today.
Yeah, and Mike, which one would you say would more likely to break that record in the World Cup record? Do you think Messi could do in this tournament as well as Mbappe, or do you think it would just be one or the other, Mike? Or do you think?
No, I think they'll both do it. I think they'll both break it in this tournament. You know, Kylian Mbappe's got himself a couple of goals here. We're going to get to see Lionel Messi in the early hours of Wednesday morning as well. And I think he certainly may grab himself a couple of goals in that game for Argentina. So, yeah, I think, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they both surpassed it for sure.
Yes, absolutely. I think the exact same as well. That's all we've got time for tonight here on the Commentary Hub as well. Just want to give another plug to tomorrow's match, England against Croatia. Join Nicholas Jones and Paul James from around about 8:45 UK time BST, around about 8:45, 8:50 UK time, ahead of that 9 PM kickoff for England against Croatia tomorrow as well. If you are all new here, like Alex said as well, please make sure you drop a like on this video. You please subscribe to the channel as well. We are trying to grow the channel, and please also spread the word and share it out on your socials. Also follow us on Facebook, with the Commentary Hub. Just search for us on there, or if you've got friends with me or Mike on Facebook, just ask us and we'll send you the link to the page directly so you can give it a follow and a like. Also, drop us a follow on X, the Commentary Live 1. We're also on Instagram as well at the Commentary 92, and that's the same name. The Commentary 92 is the same name for our TikTok page as well. Make sure you tune in to and like those as well. It's myself and Mike. We'll try and go do a few lives when we get a bit of time during the World Cup, in between matches if we can, where we'll discuss the tournament so far, or even put up some videos discussing the tournament so far. But full time in our match tonight. Big thank you to Mike Harniman and Alex Peters for excellent commentary as always. And we'll be seeing you again tomorrow, as I mentioned, for England. It's opening match against Croatia. Will the Three Lions roar to victory tomorrow, or will Croatia and Modric compare to that for an England victory and England to wait on for victory? Who knows? Join us tomorrow for more World Cup action here on the TCHub. And for myself, Russ Vernon, Mike Harniman, and Alex Peters, and the rest of the team here, it's good night and thank you for listening.